What's going on? What's up, my people? I know I look a little bit crazy, but what's going on? This is your girl Shape. I see the Puerto Rican driver. How you doing? I am super excited about who I have on tonight. I have the infamous Freight Queen on the lines with us today. Okay, lady is really doing her thing. I don't see how she juggling everything. We're gonna get into that today, right? Mom, fleet owner, broker. Angela, what I'm missing? What I'm missing right now?
Grandmother, dispatcher,
yes.
Back office,
yes.
Fleet owner.
Yes. Okay. Can y'all hear us? Make sure that y'all hear us really good. Okay. Make sure that y'all hear us. Okay. First things first. What made you get into trucking in the first place?
Okay. Well, I started as a dispatcher about 10 years ago. So once I learned the dispatching, the logistics part, I fell in love with it.
Okay. Okay.
I was like, okay, I can dispatch, then I can just get a truck. Then I was like, okay, first of all, I need to be a broker, get the work, get the truck, cut the middleman out,
yes, and
make my own money. I said, okay, I can do this.
Okay. Okay. I look so crooked, y'all. Hold on. I look so very crooked. Okay. So you had nobody to help you? You had nobody to take you by the hand? No man,
I had help at the beginning when I became a dispatcher. When I became a dispatcher, of course, I had to learn how to be a dispatcher. I had to be trained on that part. Then, let's see, I would scoot on down maybe 5 years after that. I met my husband, which is Marcus Whittle.
Okay.
We both jumped into brokerage together. He held the CDL, and I was the dispatcher.
Okay. Teamwork. So
I became the,
Okay.
Oh, it was, listen, in trucking, you have to have a team. You cannot do this alone.
Really? It's some super truckers that'll go against that statement now. You listen to what Queen is saying. She says it's a team effort. But you got some of these super truckers on there that tell you they do it all by themselves. They've been in this thing 10, 20 years.
I don't believe it.
And they got it locked down. And you can't tell them nothing. You understand? There's nothing that they can't do. Especially from a woman. Especially from a lady. They can't stand it. Can't stand it. So you started in this thing as a team. So how much did it cost to get into the broker? Is it extremely strict guidelines to get in it? At
the beginning, when I first started, I didn't have a whole bunch of knowledge.
Okay.
Now that I do, so I'm gonna tell you when I first started, I didn't have a full thing of knowledge. So when I first got in, my credit was horrible.
Okay.
Credit is very important in order to become a freight broker because you have to be bonded.
Okay. Okay, so how perfect do your credit have to be? Because it sounds like you got into it with challenge credit. So how perfect does it have to be in the 700s?
I mean, your credit does not have to be perfect. You just have to put down a larger down payment.
Okay.
And if you are financially stable to do that, then hey, go for it. If you're not, then I would most definitely fix my credit. then decide to be a freight broker.
Okay. For those people that's looking into that, what can they look to for what they can see getting put down if they have challenge credit? Like, can you give them a ballpark? Because I'm curious myself. You know, your girl Shay got some things.
It's breaking up just a little bit. You said once they have established the credit?
Or they have bad credit. They have challenge credit.
I started with challenge credit. I would never tell anybody not to do anything or put something on hold. Mm-hmm. When I started, my credit was horrible. I still paid. Mm-hmm. And I went into it. Freight brokering, I mean, everybody wants to be a freight broker. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is most definitely a lot of hands-on work. Really? A lot of cold calling. Uh-huh. Because you have to build relationships with these shippers. Uh-huh. You have to be able to talk to them, to negotiate, to make them want to give you the work.
Oh, okay. See, people don't understand that. See, that's an art.
Oh, no.
That's an art. And it seems like Queen got that art down and knowing how to negotiate. See, that's what scares me. Knowing how to negotiate and talk to these shippers. Because where I go in or not, baby, these shippers give me a hard time just trying to find a damn trailer. Let alone negotiate no damn rate now. Just keep it in real now. And
that is most definitely the rough part.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, I mean, what's the key tone? Like, what's the key thing that you...
I would say the key to it to me, you know, again, being experienced, build your fleet up first. Get your trucks together.
Okay.
Because if you can go into that shipper and you can talk to them, if you got 4 or 5 trucks standing behind you, and it doesn't even have to be your truck. You know, if you're brokering or a dispatcher for all those trucks and they're working with you, when you go to talk to those shippers, they want to be able to know that you can deliver what you're saying. Mm-hmm. When you go in and you got trucks behind you, they will give you that contract. It's easier to get the contract when you can show them that you can make those deliveries.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So do you ever feel like you're in competition when it comes towards getting loads for your drivers or any of the other drivers that may want to just run underneath you? Is it always like a challenge day to day? Is it, oh, I know I got this month on lock. I know I got the next 30 days on lock. I got like 1,000 loads. You know what I'm saying? And all I have is like 200 drivers, and I know I'm going to keep them straight all month long. I mean, do you have those kind of days?
I do. I mean, it's challenges with anything that you do. Uh-huh. The most thing that I focused on was building my own fleet, building my own book of business. Because having your book of business is very important. That way it makes it easier for me when I do have this work. I know that I can look into my book of business. I also lease people on. I can go to my owner operators. I can go to everyone that's in my network under my umbrella, and I can move those loads. I never focus on the outside challenges. I just focus on how I can build myself up in my book of business to move this, to make these deliveries, to move this freight.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because this is a whole nother lane, y'all. We in a whole nother lane. We just all drivers. Majority of my followers are just drivers and company drivers and owner ops. Okay, so as a broker, are the risks more than a regular owner op? Now, let's just say, do they hold you accountable? Let's just say if it's Amazon, and let's just say they had 8 of their loads, high value loads, show up late last month, and they're gonna say next month we're not going to give you so many loads. Do you experience that? Is there ever a cut in volume whenever your drivers have any kind of shortcomings?
I can hear what you're saying, but some of it just sounds a little froggy when you're asking me, do they hold me accountable? So could you repeat yourself again?
Like, let's just say if a lot of drivers delivered loads that was late last month, right? Is there a cut in volume next month from that same vendor? Like, or what are the risk factors? Do the vendors ever get upset and say we're not going to give you so much freight? Or like, I know something goes on.
Well, normally what they do is I'll just use Amazon, even though we don't broker through Amazon, because Amazon handles their own thing. Yes. For example, if it was Amazon and they needed brokers, they will give you enough that you can handle, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like with me, for example, I have a contract. I don't go through a broker. I have my own contract with Family Dollar.
Okay.
He knows how much I can move. It's open to me. And what I do now, it is a large contract, so what I will do is I will offer it to other brokers, other dispatchers, or other own and operators. They don't really go according to the volume. It's just like, if you can move it, move it. But if you mess it up, you have just lost it. Does that make sense?
Okay. That's what I'm saying. So are the vendors, okay, I'm going to bring it close because I want to hear this. Like with the vendors.
Because I can't barely talk into the act so I can really hear you.
Okay. When it comes towards the vendors, do they ever get just upset when they have so many loads delivered in 1 month? And they might come back and say, well, next month we're not going to send you so much freight. Do you ever experience that? You know what I'm saying? Let's just say.
I've experienced that before. Yes, I have. That's why I work with several different shippers.
Okay. Because I know that's part of the risk factor when you're dealing with working as a broker. These vendors are something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they are. The shippers are most definitely interesting because you got to think about it. It's so many brokers. It's so many shippers. And 9 times out of 10, that shipper is probably working with several other brokers.
Yeah, because I can imagine the risk factor. So do you ever have a fear of you have so many drivers and not enough freight? Have you ever had that kind of experience, or does it ever plague your mind that you may not ever have the work needed to keep everybody fed? That's another fear factor.
No,
for me.
ma'am, that has never been my fear. The only fear that I've ever had was not enough drivers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No. Well, that's one way of it, but it can always go the other way where you have too many drivers and not enough freight, and that's scary when you have employees and they cannot get their needs met. See, that's what bothers me and scares me about being a broker. You know what I'm saying? That's what gets me. You know, that's what scares me about it. So salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing, because being a broker is not all this. I mean, the money is there. You can make up to $500,000. You know, I read an article that one lady.
I don't really push being a broker, honestly. I enjoy doing it because the middleman was with my fleet. I wouldn't just directly tell someone jump out there and become a broker.
Well, that's what the money is.
Just like I would never tell.
That's what the money is. It's broker. And
or I would never tell someone to jump out there and just become a you know what I'm saying, like buy a course or whatever and become a dispatcher. You got to check, understand your surroundings. You got to know what all comes with it, because if you just jump out there and become a broker or a dispatcher, it's like, who you going to get to move to work? Have you ever thought about who your drivers are going to be? What own and operators you're going to work with? How are you going to get in communication, build communication with these people so that they can make these deliveries?
See, that scares me, because you have drivers that can abandon your stuff. And you know what I'm saying? You got a high value load, you brokering a load, the vendor needs it there like yesterday, and they leave it on the side of the damn road. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever had a driver abandon a load? Have you ever experienced that yet?
Actually, I experienced that last month. I had a driver, and I'm going to go back to that. I had a driver that, I don't know what he had going on. We was talking, the load was booked, he had to deliver it. My dispatcher was communicating with him, then all of a sudden, I didn't hear from him anymore. But I keep a tracker in my truck so I can locate them. So when I finally was able to talk to him about that, that's why it's always best when you get into this industry to hold a CDL. I always tell people, get you a CDL, because you need that as your backup plan. For example, if I didn't have a CDL, what was I supposed to do? But my husband held the CDL. He was able to go to where the driver was at, where my truck was at, and still make that delivery for me.
Okay. I can imagine the loss if you didn't have that, though. I can imagine the fine. You probably will lose that vendor for forever. I can imagine that they'll say, no way. We will give our freight to somebody else.
That was kind of stressful. I was like, what in the world? I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
When I called my husband, I was like, okay, you have to go to this truck and make this delivery, because at the end of the day, I don't want to mess up my relationship with this shipper.
Okay. Okay. And do you think that these shippers, have you ever had a shipper just like, hey, we're not going to deal with you this month, and then come back when they really need you? Have you ever experienced that? Like, let's just say we don't have no more freight for you right now because you had so many of our freight late, so we're just going to try you back another time. Have you ever experienced that?
I've experienced that before with shippers. Sometimes they will do that. Sometimes they will just get a large volume that just need to go out, you know, and you're moving it, and they'll contact you and just be like, I don't have that much volume for this month.
Okay.
But that's the reason why I keep a relationship with other shippers. And as me being a broker, I also work with other brokers as well.
Oh, that's different. You're the first broker I ever talked to. Because they normally are so territorial. They're so territorial, and you ever like met them?
I'm not like that. I don't have a big ego. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, I don't have a problem with working with anybody, because at the end of the day, the freight has to be moved.
Yeah. So,
the money has to be made. So, I do work with other brokers.
Okay, so can you go a little bit detailed about that? So, when you're working with another broker, how does that formula work? Do you split the load 50-50? Is it all negotiable? Do that original broker decide how much you get paid? I mean, how does that work when you work with another broker?
Well, you know, as a broker, you're the one that negotiates the price. So what we would do is negotiate a price that's feasible. And once we negotiate the price that's feasible, I'll just dispatch it to my crew, and I'll have them move it.
Okay, so that the original broker cannot, let's just say, haggle more than what you decide if you're the one moving it, right?
As far as the price, you said, can he make more than me?
Yeah. Let's just say he was the original one that had the load, and he didn't have a driver there at the time, but you did. Like, can he?
Then he will pay. He will give me more.
He will give you more.
I only work with certain brokers. Now, I've been fucked over before. Excuse my language.
Oh, it's okay, but speak your mind here. My people used to it.
Okay, now I've been fucked over before. So it's like, I'm a woman too. You got to also keep in mind, being a woman in this game, men think that they can just do whatever to you, but it don't go like that. That's why it's very important to gain knowledge and experience and know what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
But yes, I did receive most of the money, because I mean, at the same time, it was your load. You couldn't move it. I could. You picked up the phone, you called Triple Vision, and I moved the load, so I received all the money.
Yeah, because I can imagine they try to do like, no, we're going to do 50-50. We're going to do 70-30.
No, it don't go like that.
Don't go not with you, Queen. You said you give me 100%, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point of being a negotiator. You don't get 50 of anything. If that was the case, then you should have moved it yourself.
Got you. I hear you. But look, talking to a real boss, right? Talking to a real boss.
You most definitely have to negotiate. In this industry, like I said, I've been in it for so long, but things have changed since the internet. You know, a lot of things have changed. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to keep up with this internet thing. So it's totally different. But at the end of the day, the rules and regulations are still the same.
Okay. I want to ask you about the getting bonded, right? For the getting bonded, like, how does that process work? If you can just give us like a small skit of it. You know, you have to break down everything. Like, do you have to go to a regular insurance company? Do you have to go to only Pacific companies in your state that bond you to get insured? Like, how does that whole process work? Like, and how long does it take to get the whole clearance to be a broker?
Okay, I did it back in 2017. I went through a regular insurance company that allowed me to be bonded. Of course, they ran my information. And it took about a week. I gave them my information. They came back and they gave me my numbers. Once I got my numbers, again, I got my MC/DOT as being a broker.
A week?
My MC number as being a broker. I already had my DOT number. Okay. Once I received that, then I started brokering loads.
Do you, let me stop you right there. Do you think it was an easier process for you because you already had your own DOT number? You already had your own authority? Or do you think that didn't matter as far as getting?
At that time, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a truck or anything.
Okay.
So it was most definitely a hard process. When I first started, I started as a broker agent. I worked under someone else. Once I gained because I will always tell somebody, work as an agent first. Build your book of business. Once I did that and I learned everything what I needed to learn, then I went out and became the broker. I purchased my first truck then. Okay. And then, of course, I had my husband. He had a CDL. So everything worked smooth for us because I'm the broker, he's the driver, and he holds the CDL.
It's a team thing. It sounds like it's not that difficult for you. I've heard all kind of stories. So how many trucks are you owning right now, and how many trucks do you move underneath your umbrella right now as we're speaking? Okay, right now, today, I only own 2. Okay. Everything else I lease. Okay. So I only own 2, and then I lease 3. Okay, so that's 5. That's not bad. That's way more than me. I only got 1. Look at me. I'm talking about that bad. But that's okay. One is enough. I don't want any more. Okay. 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 Do you? I don't want any more. Why you don't want any more? It's not. Freight is booming right now. Because I also allow owner operators to lease on with me. So even though I have my stuff, I still have their trucks as well. Okay. And trust me, that's enough. So how many trucks do you have? We do everything. Yeah. Thank you, Highway Journey. So how many trucks do you have underneath your umbrella altogether, if you keep track? Altogether, yeah. Oh God, it's 9. I have 9 altogether up under the umbrella. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Making your money. Okay. Making my money. Pulling my hair out. Making my money. You're not pulling your hair. You look like you got a head full of hair to me. You know what I'm saying? You know what? This is a nice little wig. So yeah. That's it. You ain't even have to even tell me that. You ain't even have to you tell me that. We thought that was natural. See that? But that's all right though. That's all right. Have you faced any challenges being a woman and a black woman? Like as far as dealing with the shippers, has it been harder? Have you ever noticed it's been harder to negotiate your rate when you go into those offices and you do these conference calls? Because you got to remember, I'm just being straightforward. White people were brokers. So now that we have jumped into this field, and most definitely African Americans have taken over, yes, you face challenges. I have faced challenges as being a broker. I have faced challenges as being a fleet owner, just, being a woman, period, in this industry. Working with men sometimes can be a challenge. And I normally, with my husband, that's where he comes in at. It's like, because he drives, I allow him to handle most of the logistics side. I just kind of like do all the paperwork, the back office, things like that. When it comes to dealing with other owning operators or drivers or things like that, I normally just let my husband handle it. Again, because, and I'm just being honest, men can be disrespectful. They can. But I've come across a Caucasian broker, and she says that she doesn't come across that much disrespect at all. She gets help. She gets chivalry. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't get the disrespectful tone and the not answering back and the, not being taken seriously. And I just feel like there's such a double standard, because I feel like, African American people are really starting to take over the truck, and I think we work harder and are just as hard as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a black woman. You know what I'm saying? To be taken seriously, because broken is one of the top notch. That and heavy haul. And sometimes it's just like a hateful thing, just not want to see you make that kind of money for whatever reason, which I don't ever understand. So I know you've had to experience that, So, but you got a hubby. At least you got a hubby to step in, sometimes.
Most if I didn't have my husband, it would be rough, okay? I don't know. I'm going to keep saying this.
At least
you hold a CDL, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so perfect. I always tell people, I don't care if you want to be an investor, who you want to be. Get you a CDL, because with the CDL, it's like you understand, you actually know what's going on, because you're on the road. So if a broker or a dispatcher or if anybody try to do anything to you or say anything shady or be disrespectful, you know how to handle that person.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people, especially with dispatching, not everybody know how to dispatch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to be trained there. As a dispatcher, some of them don't really care about what you got going on or where you're going. They just throw you a load.
Okay. Oh my God. You say you've moved Amazon freight, right? Did you say that earlier when we talked earlier?
I'm not a big fan of Amazon.
Why? Amazon supposed to be the shit. Amazon supposed to be the top notch behind Walmart. Don't they say that all the time?
Shit, okay. Amazon would keep you rolling. Amazon offer contracts. Amazon, if I see a lot of people that's getting into trucking, and the first thing they want to do is just run to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
To each his own. I'm just not a big fan of Amazon.
Why? You got to tell us why now.
I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why I don't like Amazon. I can only tell you this is because I've experienced it, because you don't know what you don't like until you try it.
Okay.
Amazon, I don't like the way Amazon pays.
Okay. You don't like the way they pay. Okay.
Like, for example, this has happened to me twice. I got a load from Amazon. Amazon would change the load up. They would change up everything in the middle of you making that delivery. And then they will try not to pay you what you booked the load for.
Oh, wow. Really? We just had Icewater on. Icewater said he wasn't a big fan of Amazon either. Said they paid, but he wasn't.
You say who?
Icewater is another trucker that I had on. But he said he runs their freight. But, yeah, you're the first to tell me that they don't want to pay, though. You're the first that I'm hearing that. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't like that. So that kind of turned me off. That kind of turned me off with Amazon. Now, if you want to be consistent and continue to keep rolling, go with Amazon. I'm not a big fan of them. Now, they do offer great contracts. I have taken a contract with Amazon, but the numbers have to be right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amazon pushes Prime. Amazon likes for their truck to keep rolling, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Their truck has to keep rolling, because those people, when they place some orders with Amazon, you've ordered with Amazon before, they tell you that you're going to get it the next day.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. But not wanting to pay?
It could be...
God. I ain't never... Not wanting to pay? I've never heard the not wanting to pay, though. I've never heard of that one. You are the first.
Oh, yeah. I booked a load with Amazon. What was this load? Me and my husband, we booked a load with Amazon. I forget how much the pay was. I know they owe me $1,000 too.
Really?
The load, I forget how much it paid. It was to pick up in one spot and to deliver. In the midst of us going to deliver the load, we were supposed to pick up, drop, pick up again, and deliver. So we picked up, dropped. When we got there to drop, it was nothing else there for us to pick up. They canceled the load. You got to remember, I already booked this load for this certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go back and fill out a dispute form. It's going through the dispute process now. Wow. I haven't been paid.
Wow.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Hold on now. You know your girl's shape a little off now. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me you are actually having to fight Amazon, one of the top vendors, one of the grade A ones? They think they the shit. Right, know that is shit. You pick up a load and deliver it for them, and now they don't want to pay. You have to fight for that now.
Yeah, I have not been paid for the half of load. It was the half a load that they canceled on me.
Oh my word!
Nope,
honey.
I haven't been paid yet.
Lord,
so I would never book with them again.
All right. All right. I mean, hey, I wouldn't either. Because you still have to pay your driver, right? Then you still have to pay your driver.
Oh, I still had to pay my driver.
Yeah, their fuel, their time.
I still have to pay my driver. I still have to continue to keep paying and running my business. It's the only thing that I could do with my driver was tell him, don't worry about it. Let me just book you something else to do to get you out of that area.
Lord have mercy, honey. That's crazy.
But some people love Amazon. You know, you got a lot of people that build their trucking businesses are based around Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Wow, do y'all hear that? Shay fam, do y'all hear that, lady?
Yeah, I can't do it no more.
Mario Cartwell said, you got the nail on the head. They're too big to ever be wrong, even if they are. That's
you say what again?
Somebody made a comment, said you got the nail on the head. They're too big to ever be wrong, even if they are. So I guess he was referencing to the Amazon situation. I guess that's what he was talking about. Yeah, but I mean, so have you heard any kind of rebuttal from anybody in the 3 weeks? Have they said anything?
To be honest with you, my assistant is probably handling that. So I haven't heard anything from them, but I know for sure. Are you on any of the Facebook groups? Because you know, Amazon has a lot of groups on Facebook. I'm not the first nor the last person that has never been paid from Amazon.
Really? You're the first, though. You're the first for me. You're the first I've heard that.
Okay.
You are the absolute first, honey. I was like, really? Oh my God. That's the first.
Yeah, but I would never tell anybody not to deal with Amazon. You know, like I said again, people build their businesses. You know, this is their peak season. Mm-hmm. They offer lots of contracts, different contracts. You know, some on pay, some on don't. But to each his own. I just prefer to have my own work and just move my own trucks my way.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one last question. I'm going to let you go. When it comes towards tax season, is that a bit of a...
Did you say tax season, girl?
Yeah, tax season, yeah. You know I got to ask this question now. Now we're getting a big lane. We're getting a big lane. We're getting a big lane, and big, you know, Mr. Uncle Sam will come out with like this here. You know, come on and ask it. You feel me? So during tax season, do you feel like it's a challenge? Do you feel like do you ever get a credit? Or do you always just end up owing?
Tax season for the last, I would say this year, I normally always have to pay back.
You do? I've heard a few people that got a credit. I've had a few people tell me they get a credit. There's the Caucasian lady I talked to said she got a small credit back.
They get a credit back?
Yeah, that she spent so much money in maintenance repairs and all kind of stuff that she had going on that she ended up getting a credit as a broker. So,
this year I have a great accountant. We actually just sat down with her last week, going over our numbers. So I've never received a credit.
Really? Okay.
I'm hoping that I can get one. That would be great. But no, I've never received a credit.
Okay. And it's a few people that do when the bills go up so high. When the bills go up so high, it's some people that do get it, even though they being a broker. It's not happening that often. But you know, Uncle Sam come get you, baby, when you make the big bucks. That's what they do. You understand? Now I say you owe this, you owe that. So keep all your receipts, because I do. I keep all of mine.
And I keep receipts. I keep everything. I've never received a credit. Like, and it's funny that you're asking me this because I'm sitting here going through stuff now, and I have to get back with my accountant because I'm trying to like put everything together because I don't want to pay a lot in taxes. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't have to pay a whole lot.
Yeah, I can imagine
so
that
I'm trying to get my numbers down now.
I'm scared for you. What? I'm scared for you. I'm scared for you.
Listen, girl.
I'm scared.
If you could see how I look right now when you ask me about taxes, you'd be like, oh, okay, I shouldn't have asked that question.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, sweetie.
If you see how that's why I was like, like, taxes?
Yeah.
What the hell, taxes?
Because I know they come out.
I've never received a credit. I wish I could receive a credit. You know, trucking and taxes is just, it could be a lot. That's why it's very good to have a great accountant and to stay organized and just have a great back office team. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my lane, but I just try to make sure I keep all of my things in order.
Okay, of course. That's good advice. That's good advice, honey. Because people have lost.
You got to file taxes too this year, right?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You're an owner operator?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yes, ma'am, I do. But see, my paperwork ain't gonna look nowhere near like yours. That's the good thing about it.
Listen, girl. I'm live, right? Oh my God, I don't know how many people go hear this. I be having to move stuff around. I'm going to say this because I'm very straightforward and upfront. I even told my accountant, I was like, she said, you stopped putting money in the account. I was like, yes, I don't know. This is it. I cut myself off for the year.
Oh, my Lord.
I was like, I'm cutting myself off. She was like, okay, Angela. I'm like, okay, this is too much.
Oh my word.
But no, I've never received it. I've never received a credit. I wish I could.
Yeah, but you know, some people have a certain way of working around Uncle Sam. You know, there's so many different loopholes that are not open to people like us. You know what I'm saying? Us being minorities and women, you know, sometimes.
And you know, that's why I'm real big on networking. I love to network. I love networking because it keeps me engaged. I like learning new things, especially with the industry that I'm in.
Exactly. A smart way to move. Smart way to move. But I'm gonna let you go, love. I know you're busy. I know you had some things going on today. I hope they get that straightened out for you. Hope they fix that today. Or is anybody out there now getting that fixed today? Where you
no, they said they would be here around 9 o'clock. So I'm actually at my daughter's house right now. So I was like, okay, I'll just sit over here for a little while because actually when I hang up with you, I have a consultation call. So I'll just do that, and then after that, I am done for the night, girlfriend. I am so done.
Okay. But I thank you so much for getting on. Everybody's in, has something to say. Mario Cartwell said most of the fleet builders are Somali and other foreigners. And
they say they do what?
They said most of fleet builders are Somali and other foreigners. I guess I don't know what he meant by that. And Highway Journey said the Somali are very disrespectful. So I guess he's talking about
very disrespectful.
Somali. I think that's how you see it, baby. Somali. That's what they said.
I have to go back and look and see what they're saying.
Yeah, but I hope you get that straightened out tonight.
Oh yes, girl. Somebody hit the pole, and I'm just like, what in the world? And it's crazy because in the middle of them doing it, I was on the phone with the insurance broker, getting someone set up for their authority, and I'm like, oh no. I was like, oh my God.
One more question before you leave. One more question before you leave, and I'll let you go. Do you also help other people become brokers, or is that something that you're doing right now? Is something you're gonna be starting next year, like giving like counseling?
To be honest with you, because I do so much other stuff, that's not something I would charge. You know, someone to do. I'll just give you the information that you need to help you become successful. You know, that's something that I don't have a problem offering someone else that information. I do have certain fees with certain things that I do charge, but as far as with being a broker, because you're gonna have to do a lot, I don't mind giving them that information and say welcome. Okay,
y'all hear that? Y'all hear this? So go follow your lady 757 Freight Queen on Instagram. Go over there right now, hit the follow button. You won't be disappointed. It won't be a waste of time. This lady is really doing her thing. I mean, she really just, oh my Lord, they really blowing me out the water. All the ladies I'm putting on are really blowing me out the water right about now. and it's amazing.
Are they blowing you up now?
All the ladies are really just blowing me right out the water right now. Y'all really doing your thing. I'm so proud of all of you. I'm proud of Freight Queen, and let's keep it going into the new year, you know. So I love you much. The like button, subscribe,
it's a lot of us.
Comment down below, and it's your girl Shape. Okay, all right.